What's going on, guys? Ace here. Had to do a quick video tonight. I don't know if you guys saw. This is a church that was shot up and is burning today. Just absolutely tragic. Several casualties. And this comes off the heels of another shooting in Southport, North Carolina today, beach town, just complete random violence. And this is going on. And guys, it's ramping up. And I just wanted to talk real quick and cover this tonight is just the fact that we are clearly Charlie Kirk's death and now this and even the shootings of the schools by the trans shooters in the last few years, but it's ramping up and it's pretty clear we are we're officially in a holy war, spiritual holy war, and the other side is completely gone violent, completely, and it's ramping up. And I know that they're coming out. This guy was had Trump signs in his lawn and stuff, and I'm not talking so much politically on this, although I do. It is mostly the far left, but this is just more and more proof that what we're dealing with it goes so much beyond that. President Trump tweeted this out today. He says, "I've been briefed on the horrendous shooting that took place at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Grand Blanc, Michigan. The FBI was immediately on scene. Will be leading the federal investigation, providing full support to state and local officials. Suspect is dead. There's still a lot to learn. This appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America. The Trump administration will keep the public posted, as we always do. In the meantime, pray for the victims and their families. This epidemic of violence in our country must end immediately." And he's absolutely right. And it's time to have a real discussion about the growing persecution and incitement of violence against Christians. It is ramping up. And again, we've been talking lately about how Christians are the majority in this nation. That's absolutely true and growing, as I'm going to show you even more tonight as part of the good news section of this video. But the fact is that the enemy thought he had America, and he's losing it because of this administration. We are getting our country back, and yet that's making the demonic, the evil, very upset, and they're going to do whatever they can to make it hurt, to kick them out, to take back our country, to get back on track, to advance what I say is a kingdom of God, but it's at the same time a part of that advancing the kingdom of God is just getting our country back to its founding principles, which we are doing, and they are fighting tooth and nail against it. Benny Johnson wrote this, and I thought it was wonderful. He said, "If a mosque was shot up every month, it would be a crisis for Muslims. If a synagogue was shot up every month, it would be a crisis for Jews. If a temple was shot up every month, it would be a crisis for Hindus. Christians, as is happening to us, Christian churches are being violently targeted at an exponential rate. Christianity is the most persecuted religion on earth. Nothing else even comes close. Christianity is under attack. Time to get serious about it." He's absolutely right. It is time to get serious. And listen, as Christians, we pray for our enemies. I mean, Jesus did that. He told us to do it. He told us to forgive as he was being nailed on the cross. So we're going to fight our battles differently. This is not a call for violence. However, we should be protecting ourselves. And this is a time for Christian churches to wake up. The days of being safe, the days of trying to reach across the aisle are over. This is a time where we have to exemplify our faith as strength and also go for it. We have a chance to do a once in a generation kill shot across the impending demonic culture crisis that's been happening. We are pushing back like never before in modern history, thanks in large part to the Trump administration. But it's time for the Christians to wake up. Christians are saving this country. It's Christians who prayed Trump in, who voted for Trump, who have been fighting alongside Trump. The most of the Trump administration are Christians. I mean, it is Christianity that's saving this nation. And there's too many still fence sitters. There's too many on the side saying, oh, it's going to be okay. Let's not get political. No, I'm sorry. It's time to get very, very, very political. This is how we're going to win this war. It's going to be through prayer. It's going to be through love, especially in our communities. It's going to be about doing things the right way, but it's also going to be about standing up for our values. Again, we are the majority of this country, and we're going to have to start acting like it. Otherwise, they will do whatever it takes to go after us. Now, historically speaking, in every Marxist revolution, with zero exceptions, they go after churches. That's 100% true. 100% true. If you study every single one of them, dating back to Karl Marx writing his book in the late 1800s, every single one of them, the Russian Revolution, the revolution in Spain, in China, go down the list. They get rid of it because we are the biggest threat to communism, socialism, anything that's evil, anything that doesn't work and wants to subjugate humanity comes from the enemy, comes from the devil himself. And they always go after Christians first, because Christians are the only religion that truly believes in liberty and individualism, and self-will under God. They believe that, and we believe in the value of every human life, and they have to get rid of that in order to subjugate the people and get the people to subjugate themselves to a government. This always happens under Marxism, and that is a major attack in our country. But Marxism is just a disguise for one of the enemy's great ways of deceiving the people and trying to take things over. He has many ways of oppressing people, hurting people, making us suffer, impoverishing us. The enemy hates us. He truly does. We were made in the image of God, and that's what Lucifer wanted above all else, was to be in the image of God. And he was kicked out of heaven for it, and then God stuck him on earth with a bunch of people made in God's image. So he hates us more than anything, and he will do whatever he can to get rid of us. So it's not always communism, although in this case there's a large group of them, but he's doing whatever he can to scare us, to intimidate us, to say back off, because he thought he was getting our nation, but that is not happening. Milo posted this to this guy Jack, says, why churches? I don't get it. He says, because we're not fighting communism or feminism or black people or Antifa or trans pronouns or China or porn addiction or compound interest or Ilhan Omar. He's so funny. We're fighting the devil. Our enemy is Lucifer. He has merely exerted power in the world by means of those things. It's 100% right. It's 100% right. He'll use whatever he can to get there. Like in the Bible, it says, we do not war against flesh and blood. We war against principalities, the powers of the air. That's because it's all the enemy. And it manifests in people who partner with those ideas, those belief systems, those ideologies, partner with demons, and they do these terrible things. Shooting up churches, shooting up Christian schools. And it goes far beyond that. This is everywhere. Worldwide, it's much worse than here. Even Bill Maher is now talking about it. Let me share this little clip from Bill Maher right now.
The fact that this issue has not gotten on people's radar.
Right, no one's talking about it.
It's pretty amazing. If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria, your media sources suck. You are in a bubble. And again, I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are their Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
Thank you.
Because we've been mostly Christian in America for so long, and we built our country around the principles of freedom and getting along on disagreements, we've largely avoided the violence that's happened against most Christians worldwide to this day, especially those in Africa, South America, Asia, where there's especially large either communist populations or Islamic populations, Hindu populations. They hate the Christians, and they're always trying to destroy us. Meanwhile, Christian nations, we tolerate all of them. It's just the way we are. But the point is this, it's coming here now, and it's not going to be on this largest scale because it can't be. We are the majority. Again, we are in power. But the point is it's showing you who's really at it here, because this isn't different no matter where you go. It's always the same. It just comes in different disguises, as if you want to call it that. It presents itself differently everywhere. In America, it's presented itself lately as radical leftism. Now, there's some examples of where it's a little bit different there. Okay, like today, I think the example is going to be different, but for the most part, because we also know that it's the left that's been destroying our culture. So it's mostly coming from over there, but they'll use whatever they can. They'll use whatever they can to intimidate us, scare us, get us to back off. But we're not going to. But this is a spiritual war. And it is ramping up, though. And here from the left, we have the ADL. And Elon Musk, thank God, called them out. The ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, mostly created to fight anti-Semitism. But they're called Christian identity now. They label it under extremism, hate, or terrorism. Christian identity, religious ideology, popular in extreme right-wing circles. I didn't know you had to be right-wing to be Christian. That's insane. That's absolutely crazy. And yet, this is the literature that they're reading. This is one of the most respected organizations on the left. This is what college students are taught to look to. ADL, they're way up there. You don't mess with them. This is like gospel to the left. And there it is, right there. Christian identity labeled as hate and terrorism. Christians are the most peaceful people on the earth, without exception. There's literally not a single other religion, ideology, you name it, that's more peaceful than Christians, on the whole. It just isn't. It doesn't happen. And that's even when you include some of the atrocities committed in our past, where we, did terrible things in the certain countries that call themselves Christian several hundred years ago did terrible things. But that doesn't, it's even if you include all that, we don't even come close to everybody else. It's insane. And nowadays, especially now that Christians have matured and we live in the modern age, there's no Christian society single one that's violent. It doesn't exist. And yeah, I could point to an ideology, every other ideology that has any kind of power, and point to you, give you a violent example. Not them, and yet are calling us. Thank God we have somebody like Elon Musk calling them out. But this kind of stuff bubbles to the surface when it's a problem for them, when they're scared, when they're in charge, or they feel like they're in charge. They tolerate and they pretend, they subvert us from within and from underneath. They don't do it right out in front of us. They deceive. The devil loves to deceive. They deceive, they tempt, they tolerate, and they just belittle. But now that they're being pushed back on, the violence is rising and they're showing who they really are. Here's Hillary Clinton just a couple days ago. I covered this in one of my lives, but I wanted to share it again. Hillary Clinton talking about Christian men.
We haven't gotten to the more perfect union, and we fought a civil war over part of it. Mm-hmm. And people have been protesting, for hundreds of years that, things were not as they should be, given our ideals and how we should be moving toward them. So I think that's what makes us so special as a country. And the idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view.
What religion do you think that was, Hillary? This woman almost became our president. She hates Christians. They use white men as one of their things. They've been doing that for years. Whatever. I mean, it's disgusting, but whatever. That's just racism, and that's an evil we fight all the time anyways. But to label Christians, the majority of your country, even of your minorities, especially Hispanic and blacks, are Christian. They at least identify that way, even in higher percentages than whites. And yet she would dare to call Christians, especially white Christians, Christian men, the great evil in our country, holding us back from progress. This is coming from the side that's telling us to tone it down right now. So do you want to be saying the same thing? Like Mr. Pastor out there, if you may be watching, do you want to be saying the same thing to your constituents, that literally the demonic is speaking through these people that hate us? Let's get along. It's time for unity. Let's tamp it down. No, it's no longer time to tamp it down. We have an opportunity to stamp it out. It's reared its head. You know, you can't fight cancer until you see it. And once you call it out, it's all you see. Once you find it, it's all you think about till it's gone. Well, that's what's happening. The cancer in our country is rearing its ugly head. And the spiritual war, and again, this is not calls for violence. This calls to beat them in every other way that's legal and just and righteous. But it's not unity. You can't have unity with these people who hate you and their whole lives are about destroying you. Kamala Harris last night, right before today, when a church went down.
At a time such as this, it demands one thing for sure. We must fight fire with fire. So CBC, let's get to work. Thank you.
We must fight fire with fire. Such peaceful words. Such tamping it down. Now they're going to blame Donald Trump for not toning down the language, but this is what they're doing. They're calling out to their side, ramp it up, ramp it up. They're not going to go quietly into the night. Now they are losing, and that's the good news in all of this. They're losing badly, very badly. But Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, two of the last three Democrat candidates. We all remember Biden's speech and his big fiery red stage. Looked like they call us Nazis. That was very reminiscent of a Nazi rally. Him calling us garbage, telling us we're the extreme side, the Christians the right. And now these two, Hillary and Kamala, roaring them up, getting them ready for battle. And this is what the results are. We get people like this woman, looks like a normal housewife, normal suburban mom maybe, and yet this is what comes out of her mouth.
I don't want to be a violent person, but in this case I feel like that we just need to, I hate to say the word, but assassinate him.
What was your reaction this July when the assassin almost got Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania?
I was happy.
Happy that he missed or happy that it happened?
No, happy that it happened.
This looks like somebody who'd be teaching your kids. Somebody who you meet at church. This looks like a nice little old lady, or middle-aged woman. And she's pictures of Hitler, Trump with Hitler stash on, Elon Musk with a Hitler stash on, saying, wish they'd assassinate him. That's demonic, folks. And there is no unifying with this. There is no reaching her with logic. There's no talking to this woman and saying, well, if you just heard our side. No, she's too far gone. It doesn't mean she's hopeless. No, by no means. But it does mean her and everybody like her in our country is at the point where as soon as we speak to them and they no longer listen, they go to this. We do what Jesus told the disciples to do. We shake our dust off our feet and say, well, good luck with that. And we move on and we leave them in their bubble and we go defeat them at the ballot box, in the culture wars. We knock down every one of their arguments. We reach those who are reachable. And we hope through whatever happenstances in life, through whatever consequences they face for their hatred, that they get a wake-up call someday and they, hopefully turn around. Otherwise, they get to stay miserable in their hate forever. But we cannot allow these people to have power. And that's how we have to fight back. We cannot. We have to do everything we can to make sure these people are siloed. They do not Their ideas do not spread without pushback at every single opportunity. And we fight and we fight and we fight, not violently, but in every other way we can. And there is no unity with these people. There is no unity. They're like the person in Corinthians in the church who Paul said, cast them out to Satan. That's what we're doing. It doesn't mean we hurt them, but it does mean they don't get to be in the club. There's no unity. They don't get to be in the club because they are so far into the excesses of their hate. And their party is encouraging it. They're encouraging it. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of seeing dead Christians. I'm tired of seeing dead children. I'm tired of it. It has to stop. The good news is God's on the move, and this is one of the reasons they're so angry. This is what's happening right now as of last night in the city of Portland, one of the most left-wing, crazy cities in America. Pause it because of music against my channel, but this woman getting baptized. This is happening all over the nation. Stadiums are being packed out thanks to Charlie Kirk. Look at this. This is beautiful. But this is worship. That's at least 30,000, 40,000 people right there. Incredible stuff. Guys, our nation is coming back. We are coming back. The Spirit is on the move. God's kingdom is spreading again. And that doesn't mean, I laugh and joke sometimes. Like, I'm all about Christian nationalism. I really am. I used to think it was kind of a dirty word. The left had convinced me of that. And people who warned me, don't be too extreme. Separation of church and state, bro. No, I'm sorry. Christian nationalism is the way to go. And what do I mean by Christian nationalism? I mean Christians who believe in our faith, take it seriously, and act as if we are the majority and run our politics as Christians. It doesn't mean we oppress anybody. That's not Christian. It doesn't mean we kill anybody for their beliefs. That's not Christian. No, Christian nationalists are the best people you ever could want to be under running your nation, because Christians believe in love and peace and hearing you out, but also being totally okay disagreeing with you. And we'll pray for you. We'll believe the best for you. We'll even take care of you. That's who Christian nationalists are. But it does mean we proudly wear the banner, the stripe of Christ across our chest. We boldly declare his name. We are proud to say we are American, a Christian nation. And what do I mean by Christian nation? Was that stamped on us when we were founded? No. But it was how we were founded, by people who believed in the Christian principles, who believed in the Bible, who believed Christians had the greatest framework for morality ever devised. That's how we created our country, with every man, every woman being valued and created by a creator in heaven. That's in their Declaration of Independence. It's there. We believe it. And the majority of this country believes it. We got to start acting like it. It's time to knock back this evil, make it stop for good. And there's a reason the people in power have that power. God's given it to them. They carry the sword for no reason. Romans 13. It's not no reason they carry that sword. It is to stamp out evil. They are in charge of our justice, at least from the legal standpoint. If there is any violence needed, that will come from the top. And I mean police having to do what they got to do. Make our nation safe. Protect our people. That's up to our government, not us. So I'm not calling for any person to be violent. But I am saying we need to think aggressively. We need to push back. Stop thinking about unity. You can pray for those people who hate you, but you don't need to be accommodating their belief systems, that hate, that evil, whether it's outwardly hated or if it's something like Marxism, which will destroy us all if allowed to take root. It's clearer than ever today. Again, like I said at the beginning, a church burning. No more of this, guys. No more of this. This is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Realize you're in a spiritual war. Realize you're in a holy war right now. And we got to fight it the way Christians fight. And I'm so glad we're at this point. And again, I believe this man is about to be the next president of the United States. I believe Trump was ordained by God to wake us up, to start cleaning up the mess, to create the division that actually needed to happen. And what do I mean by that? It's hard right now. It's hard when our country is so divided, but it's needed. And the reason it's needed is because the enemy was hiding for far too long, and now we've pushed him out into the open. He's showing himself, and he's showing all the people who have aligned themselves with him completely. So we know where the enemy is, where the enemy's taken root, and how to now fight him. That needed to happen. That was Trump's job, and he's doing it very well. And I believe he's going to push back and push back and push back. And then I believe this man will be the uniter and healer who truly takes us into the next golden age. And he's having his own awakening right now.
You said that you hadn't read the Bible or talked about the Bible as much as you have in the last 2 weeks since Charlie was killed. Just share a moment on that with us.
Well, you know, Charlie was a Christian evangelist, if he was anything. He really believed, and if you watch these interviews that he would do on college campuses, he would talk a lot about politics, but he would also talk about the gospel. And, you know, I don't know, I guess I grew up in an era where I didn't hear leaders talk about Jesus. I didn't hear the leaders talk about God or the Bible that much. But I really do think that America is called to a higher purpose, that we are called. Why do we have religious liberty? And it's in part so that people can develop their own relationship with God and come to know God through that religious liberty. Why do we have all this prosperity? It's so that we can actually create the kind of life where people are called to something better, called to a life of service, called to a life where they can have a relationship with Jesus Christ. I always felt uncomfortable talking about that because I grew up in a country that was very secular. I don't feel uncomfortable talking about that stuff anymore. I'm going to talk about God. I'm going to talk about my faith because that's what Charlie would want. And I think it's the best way to honor my friend.
Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. That's the next man who's meant to lead us. He's called to lead us. And Christians, we got to make sure it happens. We do. This isn't about right versus left. This isn't about Republican versus Democrat. This is about Christianity versus the darkness in the world. That's where we're at now. This is beyond politics. The Trump administration is doing God's work. He used an imperfect vessel. And why? Because nobody on our side, on the Christian side, had the guts, the power, the authority, and the focus and the willpower to do it. And so God found a Donald Trump to do it. That's on us. It really is. But it's on us now. And I love Trump. I do. He's uncouth. He's rude. He's brash. He says things that I'm like, holy cow. He's obviously, I do believe he's a Christian, but I believe he's a very raw, immature Christian who probably just came to it in the last few years. That's all fine. God's using him. God's using him mightily. But if we really want a Christian nation that reflects us even better to the world, we need J.D. Vance. We need people like him. And we need our churches to wake up, our people to wake up, embrace Christian nationalism, not the way they told you it is, not with violence, but as who we are, proud to be Christian and political, and aggressively beating back everything evil and dark in this world by whatever means is allowed to us. And that, my friends, is where we're at. But the good news is we are winning. The only thing I worry about is that we take our foot off the gas, that we believe the lies being given to us, the way they lulled us into sleep in the past. Let's just get along. Hey, let's just be nice. That's how we make new Christians. No, Jesus wasn't very nice. If you read the Gospels, he was kind, he was compassionate, but he wasn't nice. He took it to people. He gave them the truth. We have to keep serving up the truth. We need to keep voting, and we need to keep destroying the ideologies and belief systems, because we have truth on our side. We keep going after them, we destroy them, and we will get a much more prosperous, moral, safe, add your other adjective you like, positive adjective, prosperous nation than any of us have ever known. And I believe that's what's coming. I believe that's what the golden age is really going to become. I believe that's a prophetic declaration on its way. But guys, we're going to have to fight for it. All right. Have a great night, guys. I hope you like this video. Subscribe if you're new. I appreciate it. And for those who usually watch it, live shows, we'll be back tomorrow night. God bless you. Have a great night. Take care.